played on the oud. Fingers swiftly slide along strings, twinkle of sunlight on water, sounds bright with summer, to dance, to be delighted, embraced in life's energy, creative and engaged, like little birds that hop from branch to branch, chirping in warm winds. Pulse of music's rhythm surges through inner self. We connect to the cosmic joy. Another tune. We turn slowly at first, then with more speed, whirling into ecstasy at night when the dark bird sings its soulful song, moves us deep into secret spaces where we glow like stars, become constellations, illuminating our own heaven. One of the things I do, because I live near Plum Island, is not this year because the whole beach is closed, but I've been a plover warden there for several years. Right now, the plovers are doing fine. Their young are starting to leave the beach. They have wings, not all of them, but they're getting there, and they're starting to leave for the year. We start guarding the plovers in April. Now, if you're lucky in April, you sometimes get a really nice day. April on Plum Island. Over the tidal river, a long border of great marsh, raspy rattle of red-winged blackbirds newly arrived from south to establish territories in reeds, and ascent up tall dunes of this exclusive barrier island that secures the coast from full assault from fierce Atlantic storms. Beach is nearly deserted on a balmy spring day. Empty strand, a protection for piping plovers who strut along edge of surf to search for morsels left by tide. Set up chair to relax beside boundary of refuge. A chain of clouds like puffs from passing train hover above the coast. Gulls gather to squabble over scraps deposited on sand. A steady procession of vessels enters and exits distant harbor. Waves murmur mysteries heard in remote realms. Nothing perturbs the peace of an April afternoon, and thoughts are lost in the reverie of sky, sea, and sand. Well, we've been at different times. Let's go to July for a quick poem. July progresses. July progresses, not quickly, with long, languid days of hot, sweaty weather, the pick of summer for those that smile at the sun's strongest hours. A smooth ride through a season when the cornucopia opens to provide juicy blueberries, freshly dug new potatoes, and many ears of sweet corn. Lately, we've had a visitor from the cosmos coming through, the comet, which I hope some of you have seen. I enjoy painting things, outer space, nebulas and constellations and things. Of course, I have to paint them from photos. Mostly I get them from NASA. And I was looking on their website, and instead of a photo, they had a recording of the sounds of the sun and planets. So this poem is called Sounds of the Solar System. The sun is a steady vibration, a long, low note, a deep breath in and out, an endless pulsation. Mercury is a growl from a monster at the back of a cave, a howl from a hollow throat near the crackling fire. Venus is a large ringing bell, a protracted hum from some ancient temple gong. Earth is a fast flow, the swish of wind and water, the movement of waves or clouds soaring in the wind. Mars is a quiet hush, like a slight zephyr, a distance clanging with the sound of a large, soft drum. Jupiter is the playing of forgotten music, strummed on a two-string instrument, joined by steady chanting. Saturn is the loud scream, fighter jet zooming overhead, flying back and forth. Uranus is whooshing and sloshing, a wet sound, heard as if underwater. Neptune is an almost silent wind, a faint breeze blowing through supple spring blossoms. Pluto is a waterfall landing on a gong, an organ played slowly beside a moving stream. These various voices form a cosmic choir that fills the vast expanses of silent space. I won the lottery a few years ago. It wasn't the lottery where you get money. It was the lottery to pick beach plums at Plum Island. To pick beach plums at the Parker River Wildlife Refuge, you have to submit an application and then they choose a certain number so the beach plums don't get decimated. So this is the story of the beach plums. In the last melancholy moments of summer, tenuously balanced on a border, departure of season's long languid hours, arrival of preparations and uncertainty, where the air has cooled but the sun still warms. Now picking beach plums, red purple fruit, perfectly round, color of late evening's last light, smaller than a cherry but bigger than a blueberry, on a tree, diminutive and gnarled, with gray lichen-laced branches on back edge of dune. It has weathered winter winds, blowing sand and salt spray to produce an abundance, too sour to eat, so jelly is made. Bounty boiled down to a deep garnet-hued liquid that shimmers like a jewel in its clear crystal jar. Its taste, wild and plummy, decidedly not domesticated, with a hint of sea air. Autumn brings renewed tasks, but after indolence of long light, I am not at all prepared and can only focus on the harvest of beach plums to bring the memory of summer's sun, something shiny and sweet, into the darkening days. I'm going to finish with a more recent poem. This is called Contemplating COVID-19. I wrote it back in March. It could be titled Contemplating Mortality, and it's sort of a segue into Harris, and you'll see why when he reads. Are these my last days? I harbor no complaints as I sit by the lake on an early spring evening. The sun has settled between silent gray clouds and sends a silver light onto lake's still surface, creates a mosaic of bright and dark patterns along the waves, now brushed by soft breezes. I am home in the place of my birth, my familiar turf. In another dimension, family and friends may await, or have they always been here? I wonder, does time even exist? I have my doubts about this. In memory with my siblings splashing in the waters of Attitash, while my father strums songs on the old wooden porch. Pleasant hours that exist within. If a different world is my destination, a departed friend found me in dreams with news that he saved a spot. No issues if the earth claims me, for we have always been close. I am not yet packing my bags, but have secured a few supplies. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lainie. That was wonderful.
Thanks.
So our next reader is Harris Gardner. In 2007, Červená Barva Press published Among Us, and here is Let's see if you can see the
There's-
cover. Here it is.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to believe that was 2007, Harris. He has a forthcoming book next year called No Time for Death, and it'll be coming out by Cervena also. Both Harris and I have been running the first and last word poetry series for the last 10 years at the Armory in Somerville. Harris is poetry editor of Ibbotson Street Press, and every year he has the Boston National Poetry Festival at the Boston Public Library, and Lainie is also a co-founder of that. It's a huge undertaking, and everyone involved with that does such a great job. So I give you Harris.
Thank you, Gloria. I'm excited to be part of your 15 years celebration. I appreciate your editorial and publishing loyalty with publishing Among Us. And I'm very excited about our upcoming collaboration on a full collection, No Time for Death, coming out hopefully sometime early in 2021. At any rate, my first poem, and I want to also thank everybody for joining us tonight. So the first poem is from Among Us, and it's called Reality Collision. There's an epigraph, and it goes, there's a book called The Dictionary of Angels, and that comes from In the Library by Charles Simic in The Voice at 3 a.m. How do you define an angel? When one wings past your eyes and you deny what you saw, you tell yourself it was only a series of spots or maybe rays piercing clouds in a way that revs your imagination. How do you recognize a seraph when you wrestle one to a draw and your middle-aged muscles ache for days? You convince yourself it was merely an Olympics-bound stranger that found you wandering in your mind's desert while looking for answers on rerouted avenues. Perhaps you denied an archangel's voice that spoke in your head in a house of worship. Instead, you sought a common sense response when words muttered, "This is your conscience." You blamed it on a Sunday morning after the night before. Too many spirits can have that effect. Again, you heard a voice in the tolling grandfather clock. It spoke, "Don't knock it," Joan of Arc quoted me. From that moment, you swore to drink nothing stronger than sparkling water. You labored to ignore other sightings, a circle of Raphael visions dancing in a country meadow. You told no one of the farm you saw at dawn. It did a pirouette on the tip of your pen as it sang the words that made you write this. And I'm going to do the title poem, Among Us. The breeze stretches pliant forms, kinetic art, brush-stroked clouds. There, profiles in near bas-relief. Here, a giant in repose. And there, so close you can almost reach up to pluck a feather, a perfect pair of sculpted wings, a flaming figure in the middle, an archangel over Boston. Senses soar toward the sun when rays sear through languid clouds, revealing noble haloed heads. Perhaps when we look for them, we can see angels everywhere. Be careful who you tell. Now, I'm going to read a few poems from No Time for Death. No Time for Death is a manuscript of 61 poems. The first poem is Que Sera Maybe. The best period of my life was, is, is. My thoughts meander beyond the horizon, detour back from dead-end streets, toe stubborn rocks that poke up their heads, to see what stirs lazy layers of dust. Feet bleed on thorns of decapitated roses, penance for the breakout, rampaging ideas that refuse to return when called home for dinner. Seeds drop into other gardens, grow organic groceries, perhaps more deserving palates. I won't recognize the best days ahead, behind, or now as they saunter by, dressed in top hats and tails. No, make that red checkered shirts, open collars, and jeans. Better attire to kneel on fresh turned land and nurture what remains. Solid food with a liberal sprinkle of spice, otherwise bland. Que sera, maybe. Have to get me some rope and corral those doggies. No need to have them wander across some other pasture. So my next one is stopwatch. Let's start by shredding all the odd years, then take a match to all the evens. Slice and dice all the minutes until they bleed white. Pound in a block to slow the growling gears. Mortar and pestle the grinding seconds, blunt their bite. Smash all the clocks, yes, the craven cuckoos too. Fast forwarding the film frames few regrets, though the mirror shows the sweep hand rounding your face. There is no crystal case to hold your works. It's not time's business to offer you perks. The crushing RIP tide wrinkles your crown. Worn out, you may drown still in the shallows. Your mind stores snapshots both fuzzy and clear. Photo albums freeze mortality stare. The lens is keen, it sees what it sees. The present deep cleans an encrusted past, then polishes it to a pristine sheen. Future scenes left alone develop on their own. Pare away the wrinkled pages, strip bare temporal confusion. Vanity's illusion brooms the dust. Search the phases of your soul, find the last clock, make it whole. When the keeper sleeps, he loosens control. And this is the next one is a Villanelle. Most people know what a Villanelle is. A typical example would be Dylan Thomas's "Do Not Go Gentle into That Good Night." But my poem is called "Until the Last Recorded Dime." When you have been broke a very long time, you forgo the champagne but not the beer. Such is life when you live from dime to dime. Ears are deaf to complaint, you play the mime. You look in the mirror and face down fear when you have been broke a very long time. You must defer to your reason and rhyme. To make the ascent, you shift to first gear. It's never easy, life from dime to dime. You can't stop the hands, the clock tolls the chime. So you grin and concoct a mask of cheer when you have been broke a very long time. Your efforts ease you into the sublime. You move to the beat only you can hear. You adapt when you live from dime to dime. Each day you wash away more of the grime. Your mind is full, but your focus is clear. You manage to manage after a time. No more holding your breath from dime to dime. And this one is a response to Galway Kinnell's earlier poem. His poem was called "Attending the Reading of a Poet's Will." You have to say poet's will carefully, or it sounds like poet's swill. Anyway, this is called "Sneak Peek at a Poet's Will." Item, verses nurtured on marrow from singing bones under layers of dust. Item, stanzas dressed in flesh from the heart, draped in surplus brain pulsations, wrapped in packet with blood red ribbon. Item, excess of bottled tears sprinkles pavement, grows roses that bite when one stops to inhale. Item, lines borrowed or stolen, nudge blink mind in bold directions, serve fresh on special occasions, very stale thoughts separately. Item, crumpled bag, home to a few nibbled on metaphors, most emotions spent, some wisely relish the remnants. Item, the desk that birthed overburdened pages can be left to no one. It labors without complaint when images gallop off the paper, become ingrained in splinters and stains. The legs wobble, speak with creaks, untranslated versions. Item, voices of verses captured with accurate tone, napkins and other inspired fragments thrown in drawers for the moment. This is not the final statement, premature to lament unwritten passions. Volumes will increase, collections bound, the will be done. So this one is called The Day After My Death. And it's a response to a line that I read in a poem called Helium by Billy Collins. And his two lines were, imagining what the weather will be like on the day following your death. The day after my death, clouds will cease their teardrops flow. The sky will take a deep breath and exhale, hustling, drifting forms that may have hesitated a bit to pose for human eyes. A riderless Pegasus shapeshifts to a gazelle pursued by a dissolving dragon. Dispersing clouds diminish growing faces. Why are there no angels floating past? The day after my death, the sun will rehearse its optimistic glow. Darkling palls may come and go, but each tomorrow hopefully improves over the previous 24. If the day after my demise falls on a January date, interment may await spring advent, when the earth is busy with rebirth. Snow can interfere with the best intent. The day after my death, markets may rise or decline without any comments from me. My opinions have limited current effect. Commerce will motor on with uneven bottom lines, unaltered by the closing of my account. The day after my death, Earth will lumber along, licking its wounds, working to recover from its own long miasmic malaise. The day after my death, my soul may choose to linger 39 more, to subtly tie up loose ends, to make the rounds for missed farewells. It's never too late for mending fences. I'll knock 3 times to signal my presence. I won't be offended if you choose not to reply. Okay, what do we do? Okay. So the last one here is, so you want to be, are we good? Okay, so you want to be influenced. This is based on I don't know what's going on there, but anyway.
I just muted somebody, so hopefully that'll help you, Harris.
All right, sorry.
We're just, we were having a problem. And
so this last one is.
oh,
weren't we getting it?
All right, this last one is based on a visit to my cardiologist, and it's called So You Want to Be in Films. Act 1, Scene 1, Take 1. A genetic aberration, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. I can't even pronounce it. My heart has become a star. Hello, Hollywood, goodbye. My pulsing muscle stays here with me. I can't bear to be apart from it. The MRI, the camera covers all the angles, close-ups and long shots. My heart is a ham. It performs an unscripted dance. A cocoon immerses me in Mozart's music. A tunnel floods with light. Still, I want to dream. The technician keeps me alert. Breathe, exhale, hold your breath. I'm drowning in light. Film flashes forward. Visit to the cardiologist. An exchange of jests. About the murmur, what's it saying? Then a picture chart explains the challenges to monitor the murmured refrain. A new take on the telltale heart. Asymptomatic, no pain or related symptoms, no end credits to roll. Then the pièce de résistance. The specialist flips a switch. There it is, stage center, the star. The doctor shows the area of the third rail, moderate aortic stenosis. Case not closed. Not a 5-star rating. Edgy, no holds barred, thoughtful, provoking. More than a lifetime of performances. No beta blockers yet. No edited film. No cutting floor projected. For now, the hot frets are minor. Later is a distant day. This is a wrap. Thank you very much. And thank you all for coming. And Lainie and I enjoyed reading for you. And many thanks again to Gloria for her 15 years of publishing, and also for her support of so many poets.
Trying your phone.
Thank you, Harris.
We want your life to be a
Thank you,
long,
Lainie
long
and Harris, so much. We're having
Maybe
interference.
she'll let us in after,
Can you please mute whoever isn't muted?
maybe now that when they're changing readers.
I don't know where that's coming from, but I'm going to continue because this is
That's
the end.
Laura, Rob.
that's Laura and Rob, and they don't seem to be able to hear you.
Answer back.
What?
I'm going back to see if I can mute here. Wait a minute. Okay. So anyway, sorry about that. These things happen. But tomorrow at 2 o'clock, we have another reading, Laurie DeRosiers and Zvi Sessling. So if you want to join us, please email me or check Facebook for the link. Again, I want to thank Lainie and Harris so much for reading tonight and being here and helping me celebrate, and all of you joining us. It means a lot to me, it really does. So thank you so much. And also the new issue of Ibbotson Street magazine is out. So please support Ibbotson and buy the magazine and check out their books and that. As you know, being a small press, I also believe in supporting the small press. So again, thank you so much, everybody. And this is it. So I'm going to end it. So have a great night and thank you.
Gloria, thank you.
And thanks everybody for
Gloria.
coming.
Thank you,
Thank you for
Gloria.
reading, everyone.
Thank you,
Bravo,
Gloria.
readers. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Harris and Lainie.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Harris.